Ron's going to do his test, then you can do your quick.
Do you want to give a little quick talk?
Can I do it at 10? Yeah. Tomorrow morning.
No, because I want him to see.
I'm comfortable talking. What do you want me to talk about?
So we do this thing we set the timer to 120 seconds. Try to give one thing. I'll help you do yours.
I can do it.
What I'm saying, the topic. Why don't you do one on what you've learned to be persuasive? A lot of people here want to know that. The one thing, maybe the biggest bang for the buck. And you can think on it, Herman.
Okay.
Herman will go first and he's going to do a little question thing on creativity, and then, so you'll be up in like 5 minutes.
Everybody needs a pad to write. Does everybody have stuff to write on? All right, it's going to take 1 minute. I want you to put your name on top of the page.
Should I do it too?
You can if you want.
Okay.
Put your name on top of the page.
Okay.
And there's no right or wrong answers.
To our names.
To your names either. Well, some people might make
Chappie.
Chappie. I will be Chappie.
All right.
And then I'm going to pick a pen, okay? So you're going to have exactly 60 seconds. I want you to write down as many possible ways that you could use a pen for. All right? When I say go. 60 seconds. That's it. Again, there's no right, no wrong. There's no...
Anything you use a pen for.
Anything you can imagine that you could use a pen for. So ready? Go. Think out the box.
So these would be different things, right?
Yeah, different things. Yeah, don't say
Not just like
writing.
Got it.
All right, pens down. All right, I want to get a. I'm going to collect all these because we're going to do a bunch of these throughout the weeks. Because I'm testing something. I can't tell you what we're testing because then you're going to cheat. But just to know, how many got more than 5? How many got more than 10? How many people? 2, 3, 4. More than 15? Did anybody wrote to stab somebody? Wow, it's all crazy. More than half the people. All right, yeah, just pass the papers on.
Who wrote the craziest idea?
Let's see, I'm
I got a good idea. How about who did twisting a tourniquet?
Twisting tourniquet.
Yes, that's what you could use one for. Cleaning ears.
Oh yeah, putting in your mouth.
I did chewing on.
I got a tiny baseball bat. Mom, that's why I started laughing when
Tiny.
you got my 10.
He has tiny baseball bat. That's pretty creative. What's the craziest one somebody did?
Sword fighting.
Toothpick, sword fighting,
A tracheotomy.
nose picking,
Golf club.
golf club. If I can't understand your handwriting, I'm going to go see you eventually. But
Quitting smoking.
quitting smoking. That's, yeah.
Smelling
How about choking someone? You could just put the pen down their throat, kill them.
Well, that's stabbing, I guess.
Writing
Stabbing.
a take me sign.
The what?
Writing a take me sign.
Yeah.
All right, let's let me and Jason got to do some brainstorming, so we want to wrap this meeting up. But he's going to do. We'll set it to 100. Charlotte will put it to 120 seconds. If you go a little over, it's not a
I
big
might need
deal.
to go a little over.
Yeah. It's the basic thing is a super short, tangible trick. The more specific, the better.
Here, Maya.
Oh God.
And you could start by writing like the little title on the board so that video guys can film it. If you want to give it a creative. There's a marker.
I don't want to mess up your board though.
No, this is all.
Tell me when
a
you're
board
ready
gets
to
erased.
erase this. Sorry, Chris. It's very important.
It's okay. Use your hand.
I like that.
I like
Thank
that.
you.
Creative ways to use a hand.
Erase. Any more? How do you spell yeses? Is it apostrophe
I
S or
think
DS?
SS.
I think we looked this up the other day. You can actually spell it both ways,
Oh.
with apostrophe all over.
I'm not responsible for that spelling. Just okay.
Are you ready?
All right. Here's a really simple technique that you can use to get people to say yes to you more often, and I'll demonstrate it with Maya. I don't know any of you guys, but before I became a copywriter, I used to be a teacher of social skills and dating skills, helping men and women to meet each other. And one of the things I used to love to teach whenever I give a live seminar is how to ask someone on a date, because it actually applies to getting more sales too. So I'll teach you a principle of influence called commitment and consistency. Anyone ever heard of commitment and consistency from Calhoun's book? Okay. It's very simple. It just means that when a person says yes to you once, it's hard for them to start saying no to you after that. If a person says no to you right away, it's hard for them to switch over to saying yes. So what you want to do when you influence somebody is get them saying yes as quickly and easily as possible. Here's an example of how to manipulate a child's mind into saying yes to McDonald's. Hey kids, do you like to have fun? Yeah! Well, if you like to have fun, then you should come to McDonald's because it's the most fun place in the world. Bam. Now you've got their mind in a little bit of a headlock there. So let's say I wanted to ask a girl on a date. Here's the wrong way to do it. Let's say, just for the sake of example, that you do want to go out with me, but you happen to be busy on the night that I'm asking you. So here's the negative use of commitment and consistency. Maya, I would love to see you again. I would love to go out to coffee with you. How's Friday at 7 o'clock?
I am gonna be washing my hair. So.
Your hair. Well, hair's important, you know. I gotta wash my hair sometimes too. I live in Romania though, so not too often. But all right. Well, Friday's busy. What about Sunday afternoon?
I have a thing that I can't get out of.
She has a
Sunday.
thing. Okay, cool. How about Tuesday afternoon?
No, I'm gonna be busy.
Okay, so did you see my social value start to go down more and more each time I counter proposed? That must mean that I really want something from her, right? It puts me below her because I'm trying to reach up and take. What I want to do instead is to get a yes chain going. So here's how I would do that. Let's say we're talking, wow, it's really great to chat with you. It's nice to meet somebody who has a good sense of humor. I would love to see you again. How about we meet on purpose sometime? Get some coffee.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, if she likes me, it's very hard for her to say no. Can you see that? Because all I'm asking her to do is to agree to the idea of seeing me. That's very easy to say, to say yes to. When you're talking to someone on the phone, listen, do you want to make more money? Or are you happy with where you're at? Well, yeah, I want to make more money. Bam, that's your first yes. Okay? Then I can just say, all right, I'd love to see you. What's your schedule like for the next week or so? When are you free?
I am totally free every single day.
Okay. Okay, cool. But let's say she said I'm free Tuesday and Thursday. You already know your schedule. Okay, great. I'm free on Tuesday. She's free on Tuesday. Tuesday at 7 o'clock. Let's go over to Le Petit Four.
Sounds
You know.
good.
Okay. Do you see how that's much smoother?
Yeah.
It's kind of like I'm giving her a very low thing to step over, and then a slightly higher thing, and then a slightly higher thing. But once she's already stepped over the first one, she's more committed to continuing to step over. Can you see how you would use that when you're on a sales call?
Yeah.
You want to get someone to agree to the idea of what you want them to, what you want to persuade them to. Then you can start asking them questions that get them to continually positively affirm what they want, and then you close them.
Nice.
Pretty straightforward.
Nice.
Okay? Hope that helps.
Lead through the next thing. We do a little Q&A and things like that.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Questions, comments?
Me? You have to
Yeah.
ask any questions? Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So when you're getting commitment consistency out of someone, say they give you an objection. So from there, do you just loop back into commitment consistency?
I mean, thank God this is not cheap, because you wouldn't be able to trust me if I was charging you $10 to teach you how to get a six-figure income, right? In fact, that's anyone who's charging you $10 to teach you the secrets of being rich, they're probably not rich themselves, and you should avoid them, right?
So simple, but it's
You get the idea?
Yeah.
You just gotta train your mind to be more like improv, like where you can be very smooth and you just practice this stuff. You practice handling objections. I highly recommend you invest in Kenrick Cleveland's trainings for your office. He can not only does he train you in the conscious strategies on how to persuade people, but he has these audio programs that reprogram your subconscious mind to be very lubricated with this kind of thing.
Kendrick Cleveland?
Kenrick, Kenrick.
From Family
It's
Guy.
maxpersuasion.com. And I think he's one of the authorities in my opinion on persuasion.
Sweet.
He's what's made me really good. Yeah.
Are there any books you'd recommend? Kind of start off.
If you want to learn about what I just taught, you can read a book called Influence by Robert Cialdini. Cialdini, I don't know how to say his last name. If you just type in Influence on Amazon, it'll come up.
Yes, yeah, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Typically, what do you feel like is a sweet spot? How many yeses do you need? Before
Just
you
a
go
few,
for it?
just a few. It depends on how much you're selling people, right? And there's a lot of other persuasion techniques that you want to employ. For example, when people hire me as a copywriter, right? They always want to know how much it costs. So I try to answer that question, for them, while still respecting them and not, slamming them. Like I'll say, look, it doesn't matter what it costs. It matters what you get back, right? You can agree with that. So if someone hands me 25 grand and I make them $250,000, what did I really cost? And I get them on board with that. And I've also implanted my price in their head without giving them sticker shock.
That's
Yeah.
another good way to go about it then with sales. So you would be like, so you'd say, okay, so you might sign up for this, it's $9.97. But
Mhm.
by the end of this year, you could have tripled your income, so what's $9.97?
That's just it, yeah. And I would start even higher than that. Be like, how many times would you spend $5,000 to make back another 50 and get the person to answer you?
Give an example.
Or you can say, how many times would you give me $1 for me to give you back $5? And then you can go up from there.
I like how you
Yeah.
agreed as well, because a lot of the feedback, not feedback, but hurdles that these sales guys seem to get is money, isn't it? They often go, well, it's quite, I don't know if I've got it. You always hear like money conversations in here. But when
Yeah.
you said, yeah, I agree, it is expensive.
Of course
was
it's
cool, 'cause
expensive.
But that's like a really cool way to, agreeing with them, yeah, it is expensive. So
It's-
they don't think that they're being cheap or...
It's like this, like, let me see, can I borrow you for 1 second? It's put your thing down. So I used to take Taekwondo, I'm not going to hit you, but like I used to take Taekwondo. Let's say you're going to throw a big right punch, right? Like a big right hook, you do that. This is like a typical block in Taekwondo. This is an adversarial kind of thing, right? That's where you're having an adversarial sales conversation with somebody. But now try it again, do the same right hook, come out here a little bit more there. And you throw that punch, and I'm just like, hey, That's the equivalent of what I just did. Every objection a person tells me is just a request for more information and an opportunity for me to put them on my side with my arm around them.
It's like a little game.
Is it,
Yeah.
is it reframing everything so it's just like, oh yeah, I understand, but this is still...
Oh, it's
the thing?
it's reframing everything. There's so much more to this than just that. You really have to manage your base energy when you're talking to someone. You know what I mean? I used to do this a lot in the dating industry too. Come here, Maya. I got to borrow you one more time. Let's say, let me show you the difference in managing your base energy when you're talking to somebody. Let's say you're going to walk up to me at a party and introduce yourself like, hey, I haven't met you yet, I'm Maya.
Hey.
And I'm only going to say one word. I'm going to say one word, and I want you to be able to feel the difference between these two interactions. Okay?
Hey, I'm Maya. Haven't met you yet.
Hello. That's the one word. Do it again. So notice the feel of what I just did. Hello. Okay, now do it again.
Hey, I'm Maya. Haven't met you yet.
Hello. Did you notice the difference?
Oh, she giggled.
Did you feel the difference? There was an involuntary reaction on her part. So the words didn't change, but what I was feeling changed. So when I'm talking to someone in a sales context, I have the feeling of we're on the same side, and I'm here to help you. And I know you have objections. It's okay. Your objections are what has made you broke, and I'm here to fix that. You know? But I'm on your side. You have to come with that feeling of I'm on your side. You know? That's
Is there any more time for questions or?
it's up to,
Sean has a
it's up to Tal.
I have a question. When you have someone on the yes train, how, and then let's say that they, so they agree with you and everything. Yes, the yes train, so always say yes. But then at the end of the conversation, when you're closing them, they say no, like they don't want to do the deal. how would you how would you follow up with them later on to close them later? Would you task bait them, or like how would you close that?
If someone just flat out said no, I'm fine with that.
Oh, so you just let it be.
For me, a solid no is a no, but most people are on the fence. I don't try to go after solid no's.
Even if they're like on the yes train with you, like if they're like saying like they're agreeing.
Some people are going to say no. It's okay. But I'm not the world's greatest sales master. You know, this is just what I've done to close a lot of sales myself. A lot of sales relates to social skills and dating. It's a huge mistake to try and convert a no into a yes in dating and in sales, and a solid no. One of the reasons I stopped being a dating teacher was because I was sick of getting all these questions from stupid guys who were like, there's this girl who told me I suck and I smell bad and I'm gross and she would never go out with me. How do I get her to sleep with me? And it's like, you don't. You don't try to turn a no into a yes. Go find a yes. It feels better in your heart. Yeah?
Wait, let other people ask too.
Sorry, I want to ask. We're three of us are like in the copywriting department, and we're just brand new to
I'm
all
so
this.
sorry.
No, like what? Any tips or anything that you think we should do daily, weekly, monthly that will get us to
copywriter
our level?
improvement
Yeah.
practice routine.
Well, becoming a copywriter is very hard, as you know. I would. There's a really good Gary. Do you know who Gary Halbert is?
Yes.
Yeah. There's.
Oh.
You would have to message me, because, have Ty message me, or have somebody message me, and I'll get you the link. There's a particular Gary Halbert newsletter. He's dead now, but he put all his old newsletters up for free, where he gives you kind of a copywriting workout program. Becoming a copywriter is very difficult and tedious. You have to manually write out headlines with your pen and paper so that it burns them into your brain so you can start to think in terms of unique sales propositions and headlines. I used to do that. I used to go buy the cover of Cosmo. I'd buy Cosmo and I'd write off the cover, the bullet points. It's just a lot of work, but it pays off.
We have a swipe file too that a copywriter gave me. That's awesome. It's like the top. It's a Dropbox. I'll have to share that.
Send it with me. Share it with me.
Yeah, I'll share it with
I'm
you.
open, but the best swipe file is going to be the one that's in here.
Right.
Yeah, but this
And
guy
that's-
then he just says every day, get one and handwrite it out.
What is this?
Yeah.
A swipe file is just what people. It's like a script file of top scripts. In copywriting, you call it swipe. In movies, you call it scripts.
There's
Yeah.
a beauty guy that's in there.
Yeah, so it's like if you want to be a good writer of movie scripts, you download the top 50 movie scripts. What's one of the best dialogues?
Godfather, Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction. And you download it and you just rewrite it yourself. Like,
Yeah.
but you don't change any words. You just like hand copyright it like a scribe. And you start writing it over and over because as you write it, it's forced in your brain to learn
Well,
it.
it's an easy way for you to come up with ideas. Like, if one winning headline is, here's the fastest way for you to get clear skin, you can also do, here's the fastest way to make $1,000.
Yeah.
Here's the fastest way to meet the love of your life or lose 8 pounds. You see, so you start to burn those templates into your brain, and you start to think like that after a while. Yeah.
I have a question though, because I see stuff like that everywhere. So if it's so monotonous and everybody uses it, does it lose any of its value?
I wouldn't use the word monotonous. You mean like it's just pervasive? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, it's just everybody uses it.
Like so many people are using this, it's the best, 8 tips, secrets.
Yeah, or like you look at Entrepreneur magazine or one of those, and it's like the top 10, the top 5, the top 10, the top 5.
But it
top
keeps
To
10.
me, it doesn't matter. It just
It's
keeps
like
working.
BuzzFeed.
Well, that's what he's asking. Does
Yeah.
it keep
Does it
working,
keep working?
or does it?
Yeah.
I was reading a book that said, well, even though if everybody's using it, it doesn't matter. Results trump. If it makes money.
Yeah, one of the biggest mistakes, and some of you who study marketing, you've heard of this big mistake called emotional estimation. This is people use their feelings to decide if something's a good idea or not, and then they only see validation that their idea is correct rather than looking at actual numbers. I can't tell you how many people have said long-form sales letters are stupid and they don't work.
Yeah.
Those 45-minute videos that you can't pause, those are stupid and they don't work. But I have proof that they do. One test result is worth more than 1,000 opinions. Right? So I wouldn't worry about what people say based on their emotions. Yeah. I don't work with clients who base my work, whether it's good or not, on their emotions. I worked with a chiropractor once who did that, and it was the worst.
He's like, I think I'm going to make you feel better.
Worst client ever.
Oh, he wasn't doing
It was a she,
chiropractic.
no, it was a she. And she was a chiropractor, and the way she decided whether my copy was good or not was if her friends congratulated her and told her it was good copy. Her friends who didn't understand copywriting. You know, it's a mistake. You know, go by the numbers. You guys have a good operation here with your split testing. It sounds like, right? And so you have some real numbers to base your opinions on. Yeah, I saw a hand here. I'll get you next.
How would you go about commitment consistency? Because like for here we have the 997 application, so I can see that as being commitment consistency. But in say an email, like would you just verbalize like what you verbalized? Would you just put that in writing in an email, say?
You can do that. Like you can say, listen, if you're reading this email, then you and I both know what's really important to you is meeting your soulmate. You know, and as somebody who wants to meet your soulmate, I think you're going to be really interested in what I just discovered. And I just made a 3-minute video about it, and you have to see this. That's an example of commitment and consistency. By the way, the only I just made that up. The only reason I'm able to make that up is because I burned copywriting into my brain.
That's great.
You know. You had a question too, right?
Yeah. I've heard that, you know, a copywriter is a salesman behind a keyboard. Is there any like huge big difference between an actual like verbal salesman and a copywriter that should be aware of if you're doing copywriting?
Well, copywriting is salesmanship in print, so it's your best sales presentation. It would be great for you to get to cut your teeth on some real sales conversations. You know what I mean? Like one of my favorite things to do, I don't need the money from this, but I love selling from the stage. I love it. I love getting in front of 100 people or whatever, and because then you find out really quick whether your stuff works. Really quick. And like I started studying stage selling, and I made a couple stupid little changes that multiplied my stage selling income by 500%. Things like, maybe you want to know if you sell speed. If you're in control of the time frame, never pitch at the end of your talk. Ever. Pitch before the break. And then give them a nice 20-minute break where they're bored and have nothing else to do but fill out your form.
Wow.
That's that little thing right there. It's huge. Huge.
What other ones? Keep telling. We're always
If you're doing you do a lot of free talks. You know, you do a lot of these content talks. There's one you can do called the PSPS formula. What that is problem, solution, problem, solution. So let's say, I relate everything back to the relationship and dating advice because I was in that market for 16 years. One of the things I teach is I'll get up on stage and I'll say, here's, how many women in here have ever said, where are all the good men? You know, right? It's all, you hear it all the time. Right? You don't know where all the good people, there's actually one Starbucks where they all hang out and you don't know where it is, right? So I teach them where to go out and meet people who are single and interested in meeting other people. Right? I've stated a problem, and now I've solved it. And then I'll even solve how to go approach those people. I've solved some major problems for them right there. I'll say, great, so now you know where to meet people, and you know just how to approach them and start a conversation. Now that you know that, what else do you think you need to learn? How to keep the conversation going. How to make it interesting. How to spark sexual attraction. How to make people curious about you. How to get rid of the person that you're talking to, who keeps talking to you, that you want to get away from, but you don't want to make them feel bad. How to ask someone on a date. These are all these problems that need to be solved, and that's what I solved in my home study course. You see? So you solve the first problem, which then creates the next problem, which your course solves. That's one way to do it. Good. Yeah. So, hope that was valuable for you guys.
That's awesome.
We want Jason to come back before he goes to Romania. Give us a 2-hour talk.
Yeah. Definitely.
I like the sound of my own voice, so don't be careful what you ask for.
Wow.
I don't know if you can beat Ty.
And support, I have a quick question. So I saw a Facebook comment today from a
All right,
customer
you want to go? We can go.
who said that
Can we
they called us today and someone picked up our phone.